I think it was Eala is the match that I was looking at, and there's people like wrapped around the stadium just trying to get in, which is pretty crazy. And I mean, it's cool to see and it's exciting, but obviously, for fan experience, I don't know because I'm not living that same experience, but hopefully the event kind of continues to grow.
She is coming out swinging, but this time, her fierce attacks are happening entirely off the professional court. She is holding absolutely nothing back as she directly confronts the Women's Tennis Association. She is stepping up to fiercely defend one of the most electrifying young talents the global tennis world has seen emerge in recent years. That shining star is Alex Eala of the Philippines. If you have been closely following her incredible journey, you already understand exactly what she means to her country. She inspires millions of passionate fans across Asia and far beyond those regional borders. She is no longer just a tennis player. She has evolved into a massive cultural movement. She stands as a shining symbol of enduring hope, of pure athletic excellence, and of the incredible heights that relentless hard work can ultimately reach. The loyal fans have responded to her phenomenal rise with a level of intense devotion that the tennis community rarely witnesses for a developing young professional. During the highly anticipated Australian Open, something truly magical and completely unprecedented took place right before our very eyes. Devoted supporters traveled from all corners of the globe, journeying from the Philippines and various other Asian nations just to see her dominate the court. They flew in from everywhere simply to watch Alex Eala fiercely compete. These individuals are certainly not your average, casual spectators who merely stumbled upon a local match. These are fiercely devoted and deeply passionate supporters who booked expensive international flights and arranged complex travel accommodations to support their sporting hero. They made very real and significant personal sacrifices merely to breathe the same arena air as their idol. That specific level of unwavering fan dedication is absolutely extraordinary. Cultivating that exact type of loyal fan base is a monumental achievement that most professional athletes spend their entire careers desperately trying to build. So how exactly did the governing body utilize that incredible, once-in-a-generation surge of crowd energy? They inexplicably banished Alex Eala to a frustratingly small outside court. That precise scheduling decision is exactly what has Jessica Pegula so righteously furious right now. Honestly, no one in their right mind could possibly blame her for speaking out against this injustice. Pegula stepped up to the media microphones and stated the plain truth. Alex Eala successfully brought thousands of eager fans from all over the globe straight to the Australian Open gates. Yet when those dedicated fans finally arrived, fully prepared to loudly cheer and witness sporting history, the tournament officials completely failed to place her on a proper championship court. I want you to pause and deeply consider that glaring logistical failure for a moment. You possess arguably the absolute biggest crowd draw of the entire international tournament right in front of you.
The fans that we're getting and making that still an enjoyable experience for them. But I did see some of the courts have like lines getting in and it seems really busy, and I saw some reports that it's some of their busiest.
She called out the blatant disrespect toward Alex Eala and the utter disregard for her fans. She is absolutely right to be angry, especially when you consider what those dedicated supporters endured. When you fully grasp the horrific experience they went through, the situation becomes genuinely outrageous. Massive crowds stood in incredibly long queues, hoping for a mere chance to enter the stands. They simply wanted to get inside and watch their beloved Filipina star fiercely compete. Heartbreakingly, many of them were denied entry because the assigned courts were embarrassingly small for her status. The required seating capacity simply did not exist for a star of her magnitude. Dedicated fans who had journeyed thousands of miles tragically ended up watching from completely outside the stadium walls. Many were desperately straining just to catch a fleeting glimpse, or even worse, they completely missed the entire match because they simply could not force their way through the overcrowded entrance doors. That catastrophic mess is not just a simple logistical failure. It is a bold statement. And whether it was strictly intentional or not, the underlying message sent to Alex Eala was clear. They were essentially telling her that they do not believe she truly belongs on the grandest international stage quite yet. That underlying message is not just completely incorrect, it is profoundly insulting to her massive dedication. Jessica Pegula took her sharp criticism even further. She openly revealed that insider sources told her this was the absolute best crowd ever witnessed at the Australian Open, and that extraordinary turnout was driven largely by Alex Eala. The tournament reportedly experienced the greatest crowd in its entire history. Yet, the brilliant player directly responsible for that electric energy was denied a proper court. Pegula directly challenged the administration, questioning exactly why Eala was consistently denied matches on significantly larger courts with proper seating space. She deserved a massive capacity stage entirely worthy of that historic moment, and it remains a glaring question that the Women's Tennis Association has failed to answer adequately. Pegula also subtly hinted at something far more concerning beneath the surface. She boldly suggested that the tennis establishment might actually dislike the massive disruption Alex Eala is causing. Take a moment to deeply consider what that truly means for the sport. Here, we have a phenomenal young woman who has organically built a massive fan base stretching completely across Asia. She is actively bringing entirely new, passionate audiences directly to the sport while generating unprecedented excitement and massive viewership in historically difficult markets. Tennis has been desperately trying to crack those specific international markets for many years now. That incredible achievement should be universally celebrated and heavily amplified by the tour. Instead, judging strictly by how poorly she has been treated, it genuinely feels like her monumental impact is being deliberately ignored or completely suppressed. Furthermore, Pegula was definitely not the only superstar speaking up. Novak Djokovic, widely considered to be arguably the greatest tennis player of all time and a seasoned veteran who has witnessed absolutely everything in this sport, stepped up. He courageously broke his own silence regarding this frustrating situation. Djokovic publicly declared Alex Eala to be the absolute greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced. He firmly stated that she undeniably deserves all the utmost respect in the world, completely agreeing that the poor management of her schedule caused major issues. The terrible court assignments played a massive, undeniable role in directly contributing to the completely unnecessary difficulties she was forced to face throughout the tournament. Whenever a legendary icon like Novak Djokovic deliberately steps forward to make a bold statement like that, the entire global tennis world stops and listens closely. This is definitely no longer just about passionate fan outrage on social media. This involves highly respected, heavily decorated, and truly legendary figures in the professional sport standing together.
So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule him on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. I saw the other day with Alex Eala. That's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
However, here is the most crucial thing we need to realize. This concerning behavior is absolutely not a brand new pattern, nor is it merely an isolated, unfortunate incident. It simply cannot be casually explained away or conveniently dismissed as a mere scheduling oversight by the tournament directors. If you have been closely following her professional journey, you know the truth. Anyone paying close attention to Alex Eala navigating through the Women's Tennis Association has tragically witnessed this exact kind of unfair treatment before. We have all clearly seen frustrating moments where the entire professional system seemingly worked aggressively against her in highly unusual ways. These bizarre situations simply do not ever happen to other established players. Just take a close look at exactly what shockingly unfolded during the highly competitive Australian Open qualifiers. Eala was locked right in the intense middle of a critically important, high-stakes rally. She struck a brilliant ball that landed clearly and cleanly inside the boundary lines. It was visibly in bounds, leaving a very distinct, undeniable mark right there on the court to definitively prove it. Yet somehow, the terrible official call immediately came back, declaring it completely out of bounds. That glaring mistake alone would have been incredibly frustrating for any professional athlete to endure. Rather than simply awarding the point to her opponent, the officials bizarrely ordered a complete replay of the entire sequence, which is absolutely not standard procedure in professional tennis. A ball is fundamentally either in bounds or out of bounds, meaning you make a definitive call and you firmly stand by it without question. You simply do not ever replay points just because there happens to be some lingering uncertainty or sudden controversy on the court. Yet, apparently, whenever it involves the brilliant Alex Eala, the official rulebook mysteriously gets completely rewritten right on the spot. What unfolded next truly tells you absolutely everything you need to know about exactly who she is as a fierce competitor and as a remarkably strong person. She absolutely refused to accept that blatant injustice quietly, calmly walking directly up to that chair umpire and looking them straight in the eye. Remaining perfectly composed yet absolutely unwavering, she boldly told them that she knew exactly what they were trying to do to her. She firmly refused to let them derail her intense focus, clearly seeing exactly what was unfolding and bravely naming it out loud for everyone to hear. Then she marched right back out onto that court and brilliantly won the entire match anyway, ultimately fighting her way all the way to the tournament qualifiers. That is exactly the rare kind of deep resilience and unbreakable spirit that true champions are permanently built from. Then there was that highly bizarre incident during her intensely competitive match against Iga Swiatek, who is a multiple Grand Slam champion. Swiatek has undeniably been one of the absolute most dominant players on the entire professional women tour over these recent years. For any developing young player to merely step onto the exact same court and legitimately compete alongside her is a monumental accomplishment all by itself. Yet, right in the crucial middle of that exact match, precisely while Eala was successfully building massive momentum, an official randomly decided to intervene. They actively chose to confront her regarding personal items stored inside her backpack right in the middle of a fiercely crucial tennis match. At an incredibly pivotal moment, a completely unnecessary scene was deliberately created, tragically disrupting her vital competitive rhythm and raising very serious questions. When you combine the terrible court assignments, the constant officiating controversies, and that bizarre backpack incident, a very clear picture rapidly begins to form. Unfortunately, that emerging picture is absolutely not a flattering one for the Women's Tennis Association leadership to deeply look at right now. It strongly suggests that one of the most truly exciting, highly marketable, and deeply beloved young players in the entire sport is being terribly mistreated. She is deliberately not being given the massive global platform, the essential institutional protection, or the basic professional respect she has clearly earned. Jessica Pegula clearly saw the injustice happening. Novak Djokovic publicly recognized the blatant disrespect, and millions of passionate fans completely agree. Millions of devoted supporters all around the entire globe can clearly see that Alex Eala undeniably deserves much better treatment from the professional establishment. The entire global sport of tennis fundamentally deserves much better, but you can confidently rest assured that Alex Eala is absolutely not going anywhere anytime soon. She is going to fiercely keep competing, constantly improving her elite skills, and continuously building a legendary legacy that permanently transcends any basic rankings or tournament titles. The ultimate question remains whether the Women's Tennis Association will finally get on the right side of sports history and start treating her properly. They need to treat her with absolute fairness, genuine professional respect, and the clear recognition that she is truly no longer just a rising prospect, but a global phenomenon. Please let me know your genuine thoughts down in the comments below. And tell me if you truly believe the vocal support from legends will actually force them to make necessary changes for her dedicated fans.